let's continue with the remaining exercise of scheduling the DQ jobs and configuring data quality alerts and seeing the scorecards and downloading the reports from Collibra. So let's continue with this Collibra DQ lab. So for scheduling a job that I have already created, I will move on to this jobs section and then I will search for my job. Just a minute guys, I will log in and I will share my screen back. So in this jobs I can see all the existing jobs applied to the all data sets. So let me search that we have created on May 5. So let me search for the date. So this is May 6 and May 5. So 841 that's the one we have created. Yeah. So this is the data set we have created. I will navigate to this DQ check. So in this job page I can see the like the schedule. So I will select a agent and then so I can do daily schedule, maybe Monday, Thursday, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, or like I can go with monthly, so like 4th of every month, or else I can go with quarterly, so like day of the month and month of the quarter, with it is first month, second month, third month, fourth date maybe. So this, like if I want to run the job on this frequency I can go with quarterly, or if I want to have it in daily basis I can select, and then I will change my status schedule to active and then see. So daily my job will be run. Yeah. So this is how we will be scheduling the job. Yeah. So likewise I can select a job from here and then I can go ahead and I can schedule, so that on the particular date the job will be running and the snapshot will be changed. And if in case I want to have alerts, if my score is like, so like there is a two predefined default alerts that we can go ahead directly. So that is a score less than any amount, so that is score. I can directly use the score. If score is less than 75 I can just give score if less than 75 or 50, so the condition I want to check, or otherwise I can go with row count. If row count of a particular data set is over than 75, like 5 lakhs, or is more than 2 lakhs, then I need to schedule an alert, then I can go ahead. So if I want to use any customized tool, if a particular column is empty, is having more nulls, likewise I can go ahead. So yeah, in this lab, let's see how to check with respect to score. So I will give the alert name. So the data set, we need to give the entire data set name. So copy the data set name and the condition less than 50. So batch name I can give. I already created a batch test and I have configured my mail ID. So if I want to add a new batch, then so the email ID and then hi or like custom message. So if in case the score is less than 50 in this while running the job as per the schedule, if the score is less than 50, then the alerts will be triggered to my mail ID and then I will be notified immediately. So this is how we will be configuring the alerts. And also if in case we want to like have a customized rule and if the rule fails we need to trigger alert, that also can be done using the rule name null check, empty check likewise. And then we have scorecards. So DQ scorecards, let's open all this one and let's see page with LSP, assignment, LSP and profile. So already like this much of scorecard is created in this lab. So yeah, if I want to add our dataset in here for displaying the data score of our dataset, then I will click on this dataset. Let me open it again. Just a minute, guys. I'm not getting the option for adding our datasets in here. Just a minute. I'll check. Let me know. Okay. Here it is. Yeah. So for creating a scorecard for our data set, like we need to click create scorecard, and then the data set that we need to have in here. So this is the one we have created last Friday. So I click submit, and it will be added in here. So this is our scorecard. So we have configured our job like for running on this date and for the look back and for 4 5 days. So yeah. So this is the date 2015 10/31 that we have scheduled our job. Like we have configured by creating the DQ check. So and the previous 4 dates I look back, and this is our scorecard. So 69, 90, 68, 69. So yeah. So likewise, so for the rules and the pattern checks, the shape checks that we have configured in the DQ check, if we want to see the score for the like the DQ check, we can add it in here, and like we can compare for the with the other datasets. So this is a scorecard created for the other datasets by other people. So yeah, if you want to see the score alone, then we can check it likewise. So this is page view actually. So in like in DQ scorecard, first we have page view. So this is the page view. Then let's move on to the list view. So yeah. So in this list view, like so let's check for our ones. 841. Yeah. So we have this much of checks. We have one behavior checks row count, and then duplicate check, and then we have rules configure. So yeah. If we want to see like all the checks that we have some duplicate row checks, as we have dupe check for bike id, it is also showing in here. So likewise in list we can see the overall rules and checks we have applied. So if we have schema and record checks also, it will be listed in here. So yeah, as we had check for like row count in the alerts, it is also listed in here. So the date and updated time likewise. So for these 5 days, so today May 8 I have checked for row count via alert, so it is listed in here. So this checks for 31st October 31/10 or 2015. We have like creating a DQ check, we have like added the date in our job. So for particular that dates we have do checks and some of the rules configured. So those are listed in here in the list view. So if I remove this, so all the like for all other DQ checks, what are the checks they have applied? They have checked behavior, they have having behavior checks and dupe checks rules configured for this dataset. So likewise we can see overall via list view, and then we have assignments, pulse view and profile. This is some stream. So like let's check our data set. It's not explained. Okay. So like we have applied these rules today, and then the dupe checks that we have applied on for this particular date for like 31st to 26 maybe, like we have added while creating the DT check. So for we have dupe check for this particular date and for this particular column. Likewise we can see in the in assignment key. So it's all about the checks that we have configured for DQ job, whether it is a
So
behavior.
Nandini, one question here. So this is the DQ scorecard, right?
Yeah, DQ scorecard. Yeah, the first one I have shown is like we
Yeah.
can
So
that.
that was kind of meaningful, but this is just a list, right? We
Yeah.
not able to see any numbers, right?
Yes.
So it's just a list of
Yeah.
jobs here, right?
Just information.
Okay. And then one more thing on the, can you come to the first screen, the DQ scorecard one?
So this is display. This is scorecard. Yeah.
Okay. So whenever we have DQ scorecard, it will be for the particular data set, right? We cannot combine DQ scorecard for maybe different data set.
Yes.
Can we have
Yes.
consolidated for all, something like that?
For okay, we can check a completeness report likewise. So for the entire schema we have
Mm-hmm.
the overall for schema wise, we can see the completeness accuracy in this reports.
Okay.
But while coming to this scorecard, like we can't have it like combined. It will be separate for each data set. The score.
Okay. Okay.
Okay. Yes. So we shall check that reports after this, and so this is the assignment queue, like the same kind of information. So for this particular date, we have dupe check and the rule check likewise, the behavior check maybe. So and then we have pulse view. So in this pulse view, we can see for this date what is the score. Likewise, like the view is different, but the data is same. Like so, if I want to have it in this kind of view, then I can check this in pulse view. So for this a data set on this date February 14 is this much. Likewise, so we can check this via pulse view so that it will be very useful in comparison with the other data sets. And then we have profile finally. So in this profile, we can see the quality, uniqueness, and what are the data types for a particular column. So we have 16 column in here, and uniqueness, unique values, quality. Likewise, for each column, we can, if you want to see what are the data types in between, what are the data types, and how the value is, then we can check it in here. So it is profiling the columns, and while clicking on delta, yeah, it will show more information on the row count and minimum maximum. So it is a string, so there is no minimum maximum value. So if I click on mint,
So, Nani, what's the difference between baseline profile and run profile?
baseline profile and
Run profile. You have two sections here, right? Baseline profile and run profile.
okay, let me check that. Yeah, let me check and let you know. Okay, so this one, let me check and let you let me ping in group. So with
Okay.
yes. So yeah. Then let's like move on to this summary reports. So in this reports we have check report, profile, DS finding, completeness, and summary report. So let's open it one by one. Okay. Like the entire or total number of checks that we have across our DQ. So we have this much of null checks, that 4,000 of empty checks. So it is the entire summary, and in here, like for this column we have null check, for this in this dataset for this column we have empty check. Like it's all the checks we have in our data, like in our DQ, will be listed in here. So this is the entire summary. So this checks report. Then if we move on to this profile report, I will search for my dataset. So for this particular dataset, mean, median, max for this column wise values, whether this called string or string type. So like if it is a profile, it is more like specific on the column values and the column data. So in this profile report we can see the column minimum, min, max, and then the schema, like the data type of the column. Yeah. And then we have dataset findings report. So I will search for my data set. So like in this data set finding reports, we have schema and table added upon in here, and then the same like mean, medium, max, and unique ratio. So data set wise maybe like in profile it is directly column, but in here like the schema, so this is the schema and table, so this much of details is added upon in here in addition. And then we have completeness report. So yeah, here whether it is business unit level or data set level we can define, and if we want to check the completeness of a data set, then I can select any one of this. So the completeness for this MM1 exercise is shown in here. So whether the columns of this data set are in like having values or not. So if I have it in business unit level, like it is an entire for the last 7 days, whether the data that we have is complete or not. So this much of information and the columns also. It is load.
And then how does this completeness got calculated?
The values like, so if our schema is having more empty values and null values, so based
Mm-hmm.
upon that, yeah, this completeness is
Okay.
calculated.
Okay. Okay.
So if I click on this business unit level, like it will compare the overall completeness of the all the data sets. Or if I want to see via like data set wise whether the column and the row values is complete or not, then I can go one by one. I can search for the data, as well as I can limit the time period for whether in this much time period the how the data completeness, how the like the column whether it is complete or not, I can check it via look back and custom and range. So if I'm selecting a data set, I can click custom range, and I can select a time period to check the completeness of the data at that particular time period, maybe V2 and go, then it will show me the results. Yeah, it is loading. Or please have some other date. Yes. Okay. As the score is 100, there is no much deviation. Let me select some other dataset for showing the deviation, like the changes while we change the date. It is also 100. So everyone is like having this report on that bike trips table. That's why the score is 100 for all. Yeah. So like if we want to check the completeness of data set or like in a particular period for this week or for last week, so we can also have the custom range, and we can see like what are the, so if there is any like this is 50 percentage or 40 percentage, then we can check the columns, so which is contributing more, like while the count like the score overall completeness score is less, then we can check the columns and then we can act upon that. So yeah. And yeah, so I think this article is, we have data summary lastly. Yeah, the summary report. So like, so all the data sets are listed in here, and we can see the score trend for the last particular 5 to 10 runs or 12 runs maybe, and the rows trends, and then passing or failing trend. So let's search for our data set. So we, our data set is scheduled to run on 15 like October 31st 2015. So the score on that date is 70, and the row trend is 0, and passing trend likewise. So if it is pass or fail, yeah. So this is summary report, so we can see all the micro and macro trends in here for all the like data sets. So physically, all the data sets it's created upon this schemas, this table. So excess data schema has this bytecrisp table. So on this table, all the data sets have been created, and the scores. Yeah. So this is how we'll be checking on multiple reports, and then we can convert it and we can download it for our reference. So likewise, yeah. And so the baseline and the other one, the difference I will be like checking and letting you know. So then let's move on to this Collibra Cloud and on-premise. So while an organization is setting up Collibra, there is two options whether we can go with Collibra Cloud or we can have the Collibra software on our on-premise server. So yeah, let's see what is the difference between the two first. So if we are having the Collibra Cloud, the Collibra itself will take care of the like how to host the Collibra software and upgrades everything. And if we are going with on-premises, so as it is an infrastructure, like it is a platform as a service, we need to take care of the hardware where we need to install the Collibra, and we need to maintain the servers for this. Yeah, if we are going with Collibra Cloud, it will be a software as a service. Yes. So then, so like, so this is how the Collibra data intelligence platform will be working on. So we'll be having job servers. So like if we want, like the Collibra data intelligence platform.
Can you make it presentation mode? Can't
Okay.
see.
Yeah. Yes. So yeah, so our Collibra, if we are going with the Collibra Cloud, then our Collibra Data Intelligence platform will be deployed in a cloud regions, and Collibra will be taking care of that. So how we will be while ingesting our data source, how like the backend process works. Let's check on here. So our we will be having some job servers, whether we will be having on-premise or our private cloud, or maybe it might be public cloud. So that job server will be connecting with our data source, whether it may be a Redshift or S3 or Tableau or Postgres, like a Snowflake. So our job server will be connecting with our data source, and it will be like getting the metadata information, profiling and data sampling. So the metadata information, the rows name, the table name, everything will be stored in job server, and then from there the job server will be ingesting into this Collibra's data intelligence platform, that is Collibra DGC. Yeah. So like in this in Collibra DGC, we will be having only metadata reference data. So like sample data is optional. So in like unlike data quality, in data quality we will be ingesting the actual data. But while coming to Collibra's DGC, like if we want to store sample data for each table, maybe 10 to 20 column rows, we can do that. Or otherwise we can just ignore that, and we can just save the column name and the table name only inside this Collibra DGC. So if we come to this job server, so it will be running on our customer's client network closer to the data source, and yeah, it will be able to contact with this customer, like the client's network behind the firewall. The job server will be having access to contact with our data source, like a SQL, MS SQL or Redshift, likewise. And so the customer, the client whomever is using Collibra, they will provision and they will deploy and they will manage the job servers by their own. It's completely the client's responsibility to have this job servers and maintaining this job server. And this job server will get the metadata, profiling and data sampling information from the data source, and then it will be ingesting in here. So this is how, like while ingesting a data source, this is how like the backend process will be working on. So we'll be having job servers, yeah. And so if we are going to on-premises, like we need to have a hardware where the Colibra's software needs to be installed, and we need to see and maintain the upgrades. And if we want to have optimization while the technology changes, like nowadays everyone is moving to cloud. So in future there might be a different technology, or there might be much upgrades on the existing technology. So all the optimization the client should be taking care upon. Yeah, and then they additionally they will be having this, like this process also, they should have the job servers, everything is similar. And other than this, while going on with on premises, they need to have the hardware maintained by themselves. Yeah. So,
So Nani, one question: does this Collibra has like with DGC or data quality? Does the slowness or load issue happens on these tools? If yes, which one is better, cloud or on premises?
yeah, like in at any cost, Colibra is going with a cloud only. So cloud is better, as we if we want to have some kind of integration with Colibra. So if we are having Colibra Cloud, then if we are stuck up someone or like something, or if we are having any issues, then we can directly go with coaching session, or we can log a support ticket. They will be taking care of them. Like, or if we are having on premises in our organization, then we need to check like why this integration is not happening, whether it is our mistake, like whether we need to apply some fix on the hardware. And then like we need to confirm whether it is a Colibra's feature, like Colibra's product failure, or otherwise from ourselves. Like there might be some confusions, immediately it can't be resolved. So it is better to go with Collibra Cloud. They are also recommending to go like follow the Collibra Cloud. So yeah, everything will be transparent and everyone will be at the same page.
So my question was, do we face any slowness in any of these tools while loading data? If we have a lot of data quality checks and rules, there's
Yes. Yeah, so like if while we are now loading, it takes some time for loading, as it is checking the actual data and it is coming back. So yeah, like based upon this data's load, it might take some time in Colibra DQ. And also while ingesting a data source inside Colibra using our job server, if it is a huge data source, it will take 2 to 3 hours maybe.
okay.
Yeah. Yes. And yeah, so and yeah, so nowadays like all the organization is having the data on cloud. So yeah, now cloud is the primary option for all the organization. Yeah, so Collibra is also recommending to go with cloud. So if we see the benefits of Collibra Cloud over on-premises, we can say it is having low cost of entry. So like if we are going with on-premises, we need to purchase the hardware initially, and then we need to have some IT staff for maintaining that hardware. So like while having the Collibra like on cloud and on premises, the for both the subscription fee is same. So if an organization is having an on-premises hardware where Collibra needs to be like hosted upon, then it should have some additional cost invested for this hardware and the IT stuff. So while comparing this to lower cost entry is can be like we have a lower cost of entry in Collibra Cloud and lower cost of ownership. So like if we are having Colibra's on-premises network, so if we are having some kind of issues in upgrade or in like or in integrations, as I already stated, we will be the one who will be taking the ownership, and we should debug where the like issues are arising. So it is better to have Collibra Cloud. So complete ownership will be given to Collibra, so we can directly can raise a request for them to check upon the issues. While if we are having an upgrade and if you are facing some issues while ingestion or any kind of features that already we have in Collibra, then we can directly pass the ownership to them. They will be checking and they will be working upon and they will be resolving that. And automatic and continuous upgrades. So quarterly for every 3 months, Collibra will be upgrading its DGC. So like if we are having Collibra Cloud, they themselves will upgrade and they will be notifying us for like this much of upgrade is done for this quarter. And yeah, this is automatic and they will be continuously doing that for our instances, maybe dev and prod one by one. But if in case we are having on premises, we will be required to do this upgrade. And if you are facing some issues, we have to debug that and we have to resolve that. And yeah, so if we are having an hardware and if we are planning to ingest more and more data inside Collibra, if we want to extend our data ingested in Collibra among markets, then we need to add more hardware resources. We need to purchase other one set of resources and then we need to make it available on-premises server. So this can be like done by Collibra whether while we are going with cloud. So it is scalable and highly available, and yeah, the performance also increased while moving on with Collibra Cloud. Yeah. And faster and easier expert support. So yeah, as we are all in same page, like if they are doing some upgrades, we will be also having that upgrades in our DGC. And yeah, if we are facing some issues, they will there will be like the time involved in resolving that will be reduced as like as the support as they can offer much support on that. They will be like knowing everything of the product inside out. Like for example, I can state an example. So while the previous update that happened on February, like they have upgraded the import feature. We will be importing our relations, assets, and yeah, so attributes may be inside Collibra via file, maybe in Excel or CSV file. So like in the last release, they have upgraded the feature. Because of that upgrade, while we try to import the file, it is throwing some error, like it is showing the upgrade has happened, so your file is not supported, and we have logged a ticket. So as it is in production, we need to upload the file, and they have changed some console setting and it is resolved in a day, and then we are able to upload the same import file that we are doing like till this date. So likewise, the support and the coaching service, the professional support and the product management support will be easy while going with Collibra Cloud. Yeah. So hardware installation and maintenance, if you are choosing cloud, Collibra will be taking care of that. Or otherwise, if you are going with on-premises, the customer need to take care of that. And maintenance of Collibra software. So like if you are going with cloud, Collibra will be taking care of that. And likewise, and for environment monitoring and optimization. So in case of any like technology changes and if any kind of So now we are using Azure AWS mostly. So if in case in future there is some technology rising, so that monitoring on optimization, Collibra will be taking care of that. So if we have on-premises servers, we need to look and then we need to act upon based on the current trends. Yeah. And then, so both on Collibra Cloud and Collibra on-premises, like the Collibra's user interface will be similar. So how will be customizing and implementing the software, it will be similar. And the configuration of the platform, such as views that we configure the diagram views and the normal views, that is also similar. And so if we are having some testing workflows or any kind of testing done in dev, and if you want to move that in production, so that promotion is also similar both in cloud and on premises. Mostly all the features in cloud and on premises similar. And we have Collibra desktop app, we can install that. And yeah, so via app we can search and we can use whatever we do in Collibra's website. As of now we have seen how to access the Collibra's DGC via website, so we can do that via desktop app also, that is also available in Collibra marketplace. And then we have Collibra mobile app that is on the go. So we can download that mobile app via Play Store, and then we can log in with our credentials. Yeah. And then we can search for the reports and we can search for the assets. Yes. So that is also available. Yes. So we are almost done with the syllabus. And so if you are feeling any part of the syllabus is not like yet to complete, then please ping in chat, let's check on tomorrow. So today we have completed this Delta's cloud and on-premises. Yeah.
So,
Yes.
Danvi, did you mean that we are done with the classes, all the classes?
Yes.
But I have been told that it will be around 45 classes. And I guess, right, it has been how many classes?